You know, everyone tells you how cheap and affordable it is to move to Ho Chi Minh City because things are just really cheap here, but nobody really tells you how much you're actually going to spend your first month here. And that number can be quite high. I learned the hard way because my first month spent here, I think I spent about 5 times what your normal expat would budget for their monthly cost of living here, which is roughly about $1,000. So here's how I spent $4,925 my first month after I moved to Ho Chi Minh City. And I'm going to break this down into 5 categories: the cost for my apartment, my home office setup, and some unexpected expenses, as well as food and transportation. Okay, first we have the apartment. I currently don't have a rent to pay for my apartment, so that is something that I didn't have to deal with. But normally, if you're moving to Ho Chi Minh City or Da Nang or even Hanoi, a lot of the landlords will kind of require about 3 months to a year prepay. And that can be quite a hit to your budget, especially if you're talking about roughly about $400 per month for a 6-month, 3 to 6 month prepayment. You're talking about $1,200 to $2,400, which is quite a hit for a lot of people. Luckily, I don't have that, but the other thing I have is my apartment setup. And when I got here, I had to get a TV, which is quite huge, and I spent about $700. It was it's a nice TV. I splurged a little bit on that. I bought an air fryer for $80, a electric water kettle, and that came up to $20. I bought some miscellaneous pots and pans, as well as utensils and some bowls, and that came up to $20. And finally, I bought some furniture for the balcony, bought a table with 2 chairs, and that came up to $120. That's pretty high. I mean, I could have probably gotten something for roughly about $30, but I really like the set that I got, and I use it a lot, so you know, might as well get something a bit nicer. So the total for the apartment came out to $940. Then there was the home office. For the home office, that used to be the master bedroom, I had the bed removed and moved somewhere else, and that was $20 for the movers to do that. The sofa is a custom-made sofa. It's a little bit more than I probably should have spent, but $400 was not bad for a custom piece. And then there was the desk. The desk is a standing desk, is mechanical, and that cost $330. The chair is ergonomic and is probably the most expensive stuff in the most expensive piece of furniture that I've ever bought, and that was $540. I needed internet connection, and that came up to $50 for the full year, and that was all prepaid. And my mobile phone is $5 per month, and so that brought the total up to $1,345 with a grand total of $2,285. Third thing that I had to deal with was some maintenance and repair. Those are kind of hidden costs that I didn't know about. The bathroom toilet was all wiggly because the caulking was dried up and it wasn't holding, and I think I found out when I was like on the toilet, and it kind of moved a little bit, and I moved a little bit, and the toilet moved with me, so it kind of freaked me out. That had to be redone, and that was $20 for the guy to come and do it. When he was here, he also fixed the stove hood, which was not sucking air. That was also another $20. And I had somebody come in to do maintenance work on the water purification system. That is probably going to last me about 2 years, but there is one filter that needs to be replaced next year. And that came out to $80, I think. Yeah, $80. Cleaning, I had somebody come in for quick cleaning, just to mop and dust and all that stuff, and came up to $40 with a total of $160 for maintenance and repair, bringing my grand total up to $2,445. The next thing on the list is food, and for that I had to go to Mega Mart, and I got some stuff for the refrigerator, some seasoning, and some household type stuff. That came out to $90. I shopped at the local market and that was $50. Did some convenience stores and that was $20. I also ordered some Grab food for delivery and that was $40. Come on. Okay, so the food is here. And then ate out at restaurants, at food markets and whatnot, and that came up to $200 for the month. My food cost for the month was $400, with the grand total coming to $2,845. And finally, transportation. This is actually my high ticket item because I did buy a scooter, and the scooter cost me $2,000. Wrapping the scooter was $30, which protects it from getting scratched up, and it's kind of worked out because, man, I don't know what people are doing, but they're moving my bike when I'm parked, and they're scratching up in the process. But thank goodness it's the wrap that's getting damaged right now. The insurance for the full year on my bike is $10. I spent $20 on gas for the month, and parking was $8. I also had Grab bike service because in the beginning I didn't have a bike. That came out to $12 for the full month, with transportation coming to $2,080. It was, yeah, it's quite a lot. And so now my grand total is $4,925. That is a lot of money, and that is like really a lot more than what I currently spend on a monthly basis, which is roughly about $400 to $500. Probably should do a video on that. And there's certainly things that I could have done to prevent expenses that I incurred. Number one, I didn't really need that TV. I could have watched things on my laptop as well as on my phone. And also, maybe the home office wasn't really needed. But again, I'm kind of preparing for the future a little bit with visitors, and so my second room would ultimately become my guest room if visitors came, and so I needed a place to kind of make myself feel comfortable. And it seemed like the sofa, being able to lay on it and having that extra space just to myself, well, people are, you know, visiting, and not having people need to sleep in the living room on the couch or things of that sort seems to make sense. And so, yeah, I did spend a lot of money, but I think for long term, it kind of amortizes itself out to not too much, because I am here for the long term and not just here for like 6 months to a year. So this is the cost of my first month in Ho Chi Minh City. And if you enjoy this and you want to see more of this, give me a like and give me some suggestions. Maybe I'll make a video of of how much it cost me per month. And if you're interested in that, subscribe and turn on notifications. Thanks for getting lost with me, and I'll see you on the next one. Look what the wind did. It was raining earlier and the wind was going crazy. Literally tore off all the trees. That sucks. And I think there's one or two trees over there that got knocked down as well. But this is so crazy.